Evil Dead Rise, groovy or not groovy? Keep watching to find out. Totally wrote that in my notes thinking that would be a cool intro. Hey there, creepy peeps. I'm Nightmare Maven. Welcome back to my channel. If you happen to be new here, welcome. I talk about spooky movies, books, all spooky things all year round. So if you end up liking this video, you should subscribe and become a creepy peep today. So Evil Dead Rise is the 5th film installment in the Evil Dead franchise. We're taken out of the woods and into the city when a teen finds one of the 3 Naturum de Monto books and unleashes that ancient evil we're all too familiar with, but this time on the top floor of an apartment building. There's obviously a lot of differences between Evil Dead Rise and the rest of the franchise, and I'm here for it. I really enjoyed the new setting. As iconic as the cabin in the woods is, I like that we're finally taking the Deadites to different locales. First with Ash vs. Evil Dead, we got that a little bit, and then now with Evil Dead Rise. The Deadites are so scary and so much fun that it feels right to let them loose in different settings. And an old creepy apartment building where the power has gone out and it's storming outside is a great place for them. So the Evil Dead franchise as a whole is definitely known for its comedic side, maybe being a little slapstick. But Evil Dead Rise is a lot darker than its predecessors, having more in common with Fede Alvarez's 2013 remake. I like seeing the franchise go a little darker. Seeing Deadites lurking in dark corners of an old apartment building is creepy as fuck, as it turns out. We have lots of pitch black hallways and cluttered rooms that kept the kind of isolated setting fresh. Plus, the new setting gives the Deadites a lot to play with because they are a playful bunch. Say what you will about them, but they know how to have a good time. And speaking of the Deadites, I have to talk about Alyssa Sutherland, who plays Ellie, the mom, who as you can see in the trailer, is our main baddie Deadite. And holy shit, her performance was great. Her facial expressions and the physicality was just wow. Apparently she took inspiration partly from Jim Carrey for this role, and I can see it, kind of. She was so freaky. I was genuinely afraid of her in this movie. The fisheye shots of her in the dark hallway, iconic. It's one of those shots that's gonna stick with you for a while. Like the next time I have to look through the peephole of my front door, that's what I'm gonna be thinking of. And of course we have to talk about the gore, which is synonymous with Evil Dead movies. Super satisfying, exactly what I was expecting and exactly what I wanted out of an Evil Dead movie. Absolutely did not disappoint. There were so many scenes that had me like cringing back. There was quite a lot of like gross stuff too, a lot of vomiting of unknown substances, maggots, other gross things. Like any good movie in this franchise, it had me squirming in my seat a bit. And it never felt gross or gory just for the sake of being gross or gory either. And maybe it's a little bit weird to think about Evil Dead movies and be like, Vicky, is the gore really purposeful? Is every single gore gag integral to the story? Probably no. I don't know, it just feels appropriate. Like even in the 2013 remake where it's literally raining blood, like for what reason? It still felt like it was just meant to happen, you know? I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but it does to me up here. Speaking of the 2013 remake, these last 2 Evil Dead films, I really enjoy the kind of like letting the genie out of the bottle aspect to them. Because in the original film, Cheryl, like as soon as they get to the cabin, already hears like a disembodied demonic voice, and that's before they even go into the basement and find the book and the tape recorder. And yes, them playing the tape does make things a whole lot worse, but the kind of unprompted like semi-possession of Cheryl before even finding those items kind of suggests that scary shit probably would have happened just by them being there. And in Fede Alvarez's remake and now Evil Dead Rise, there's this added like specific act of reading from the book, or in this case, listening to a recording of someone reading from the book that directly brings the evil to their door. So had Danny not found the book and the vinyl, none of this would have happened. And yes, it's totally scary if something like this would happen unprompted, but I feel like the morbid curiosity to investigate, to look into things that are so obviously scary is such a human thing. And it's both kind of funny and kind of infuriating. And it makes for a super fun viewing experience, especially if you had a theater like mine when I went to go see this and people audibly groaned or tisk-tisked when Danny like goes into the basement and starts investigating, because we know what he's gonna find and we know what's gonna happen. And I just love riding that collective wave whenever I go and see a horror movie in a theater full of people. Overall, I really enjoyed Evil Dead Rise. I had a great time watching the movie, and I'm glad it's doing so well as a whole too. Like, its opening weekend, I feel like it's done great. And online, the ratings have been super high, especially for a horror movie, and especially for a kind of niche franchise like Evil Dead. And because it's been so successful at the box office this past weekend, I feel like it's very, very plausible, if not pretty much guaranteed, we're gonna see at least another Evil Dead movie, and we likely won't have to wait 10 years like we did this last time. In multiple interviews I've seen / read, the director Lee Cronin talk about all these ideas that he has for the franchise that would branch off from Evil Dead Rise, especially because the mildest of spoilers, it has an open ending. If you consider that a spoiler, there's definitely room for the franchise to go after the ending of this one. So let me know what you think in the comments, like yay or nay to more Evil Dead films. And of course, let me know what you thought about Evil Dead Rise specifically in the comments if you've seen it already. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here, become a creepy peep today. I will see you very soon with a new video. Until then, stay strange. Bye.